Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Gulf Shores, Alabama, where this afternoon it is the National Championship for 2011 in the NAIA here from Gulf Shores, and it will be contested between California Baptist University and Oregon Tech University. Oregon Tech came into the first game today, having been unbeaten in this tournament, but California Baptist pulling off a 7-0 win earlier today, and they are forcing an, if necessary, take-all game here in just a few moments. Kirk McDonald with you here this afternoon. And Chase joining me here this afternoon. We should have another pretty good ball game, and California Baptist showing why they were the number one ranked team in the nation all season long with that 7-0 victory earlier today.
Yeah, I think, Kirk, the big thing is momentum right now for California Baptist, and what they've done over the course of the last 36 hours, 24 hours even, shows why that they're the number one team. They're the reigning champion from 09, runners up in 05 and 06, so they've got what it takes to get to this point, and obviously putting on a pretty good show offensively in the first game gets them to this point now.
They had an interesting game certainly yesterday in the winners bracket contest with Oregon Tech. This now has essentially become a three-game series, a best of three between these two teams. And Oregon Tech winning yesterday 1-0, each team with one hit. But that one hit for Oregon Tech was a home run. And we talked about this is a team in California Baptist that has been here before. A lot of teams, after suffering a tough loss like that, would come back and maybe have a down game because they had to come back and play last night against Belhaven. They came out, got the bats going, won 4-1, and now showing again why they are such a good ball club, hitting the ball all around this yard earlier today.
Yeah. What will be interesting to see is what kind of pitching happens, and we saw that in the earlier game that Oregon Tech ended up taking out their starter Imhoff to possibly get ready for that second game. Now, a lot of coaches don't like to ever say that out in front, but that was possibly what they're doing, hopefully getting a rest. Obviously, she injured her finger early on in that first game, and then coming back, obviously she's getting the start again here in game two. On the flip side, California Baptist is going to go with their second ace in Ferreira. We wondered what they would do if Holden was going to come straight back, but they might try to see how long Ferreira can go and then potentially bring in Holden late in the game.
Well, and Ferreira started yesterday against Belhaven, went the first 5+ innings, and then they brought in Holden, and she came in and finished it out, and that seemed to work for them yesterday. And they may go to that deck of cards again here today. But you mentioned Imhoff took that line shot off her pitching hand in that first game, and you wonder if that maybe affected her a little bit, and we'll have to see if there's a lingering problem when she comes out here this afternoon.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it not only physically, but it was a mental thing too. I mean, we noticed her just kept looking at it and looking at it and looking at it, and that definitely takes away from her focus and gaining that that composure that she needs to focus on the at-bats and not just her finger and hand. But I think they'll bounce back here. They definitely got to get something on the board because if not, California Baptist is going to keep rolling.
Well, and California Baptist is going to get the hit first again here today. They are the visitors in the scorebook. Here's the starting lineups for this afternoon's championship game, beginning with California Baptist. Leading off and in right field is Tina Gallinado. The second baseman batting second, Brianna Corral. In left field batting third, Kendall Gorman. The first baseman hitting fourth is Sloan McCann. The third baseman batting fifth, Lindsey Henry. Maura Rodriguez is the designated player. She will bat sixth. Nicole Shoemaker is the catcher. She hits seventh. April Vasquez is at short. She will bat eighth. And Marshawn August will be in center field. She will hit in the number 9 spot. We mentioned Tori Ferreira will be the starting pitcher for California Baptist. Their head coach is Mr. Mike Smith, and their record entering this ball game an unbelievable 66-4. Here's the starting lineup for Oregon Tech. They are 41-13 on the season. Leading off and at shortstop is Shauna Collins. The right fielder hitting second, Andrea Wheatley. At second base hitting third, Ashley Larson. The third baseman batting fourth, Jess Plummer. In center field hitting fifth, Brittany Cherry. The left fielder batting in the number 6 spot is Bree Larson. Taylor Schmidt is at first base. She will bat seventh. Sarah Coates is the designated player. She hits eighth, and Cade Schaeffer is the catcher. She will bat ninth. Jackie Imhoff will get the start in the circle this afternoon for Oregon Tech. They are coached by Greg Stewart, and we are about ready to get underway. A winner-take-all game here this afternoon in this 2011 NAIA Softball National Championship in Gulf Shores, Alabama. Tina Gallinado in the batter's box. The left-hander stands in and awaits the first pitch, and it's just a little bit low for ball one, and we are underway here at the Sportsplex. Approximate time of the first pitch, 3:11 here on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon in Gulf Shores. Into the motion. Imhoff's delivery is in there. That time a strike over the outside corner. And so far, Chase, looks like she has got some pretty good velocity on those first two offerings.
Yeah, what's different is her counterparts that have pitched in the first game. They didn't have nearly as much speed as she did.
There's a foul ball at home plate off the foot of Gallinado, and now the count, a ball and 2 strikes on the right fielder for California Baptist. Oregon Tech in their dark uniforms today with the white numbers and gold trim. California Baptist in their white pinstripe uniforms, blue numbers and gold trim. Strike 3 called over the outside corner, and Imhoff disposes of Gallinado quickly here to begin the top of the first inning.
Well, a completely different scenario from the last time this game started, because it started with an error, which eventually got that first run on the board. And we talked about in game 1 how for Cal Baptist, if they can get runners on quickly, it's dangerous. And so good thing for Imhoff here, she was able to get that down.
Brianna Corral takes down low for ball 1. Corral in that first game was 1 for 3. By the way, Gallinado was 0 for 2 in the first meeting this afternoon. Did score a couple of runs. The 1-0 pitch is up a little bit too tall there for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. And watching Belhaven's victory over Cal State San Marcos, you were talking about errors, and especially at this point in the tournament, if you give up a mistake or give an extra out, these teams are going to burn you. And there's a strike delivered by Imhoff. 2 balls and 1 strike on Corral. Just underway here in the top of the first inning. 1 down. California Baptist and Oregon Tech battling for the national championship. The pitch. There's a ground ball towards short. Going to be fielded cleanly. The throw a little bit high and pulls the first baseman off the bag. And that is going to be, I'm assuming, an error on the shortstop Collins. Got it cleanly. Had time to throw, but the throw high. Schmidt able to glove it, but it pulled her foot off the bag. So, and just like that first game, here we go with an error.
Well, yeah, that was huge. I mean, 4 errors last game in the earlier game, and that definitely set them up to get some runs scored.
Imhoff fires up and out of the strike zone there for ball 1. Kendall Gorman at the plate now, and Gorman earlier today, just 1 official plate appearance, did have an RBI. She was 0 for 1. The pitch is a little bit low for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. And now if you're Imhoff, you've got to get your mind right and get focused in here and not let that error by the defense rattle you in the center of the diamond. 2 balls and no strikes. Here it comes, and a foul ball our way. We are located down the right field line just beyond first base here at the Sportsplex in Gulf Shores, Alabama. Count goes to 2 balls and a strike. 1 down here in the top of the first inning. California Baptist looking for their second national championship. Oregon Tech vying for their first softball national title. Fouled back. She might have chased ball 3 there. But as it stands, it will go to 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And we talked about if and what if type of situations in the first game, but there's no ifs now. I mean, this is it. This is the last game, no matter what.
That one evidently just a little bit low, maybe off the plate inside. Not by much, and now the count full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Corral over at first base on the air by the shortstop Collins. The payoff delivery. Ground ball. Collins gets another chance, runs to second herself, throws to first, and in time for a double play. A 6-3 double play to end the inning. A pitcher's best friend. And we have played a half an inning here in Gulf Shores as California Baptist fails to score against Oregon Tech here in the top half of this first. And Collins able to redeem herself after that errant throw with 1 out, but able to get the job done there on that double play.
Yeah, I think she made a good decision to keep it herself, too. She was looking to toss it over to her teammate, but I think it was probably a better decision to hold it instead of trying to toss it over to Larson, and obviously that ended up being the case. And with her speed, she was able to tag it and make the quick throw over. It's a close one, but I think she got it in time.
And I think for Oregon Tech, that was very big for them to get out of that inning without allowing a run to score, because they gave up the 7-0 loss in that first game. And as you kind of mentioned, if California Baptist gets on the board, they just kind of keep snowballing things that they picked it up. They started going last night, and then their offense carried over here tonight. So now you feel that momentum maybe shifting back over to Oregon Tech a little bit here after that first inning, and now they've got to try and take advantage of a good defensive inning and see what they can do at home plate.
Well, I want to mention the official travel partner of the NAIA. Would like to congratulate all the NAIA championship teams on an excellent season. Anthony Travel is proud to assist these teams in all their destinations regarding sports travel, as they're the specialists throughout the NAIA in all their national championship events. So we'd like to thank Anthony Travel, and I know they set me up, and as well as Doug Amos on his way out from Faulkner to the World Series for baseball.
And the opening pitch of the bottom of the first inning is lined into right center field by Shauna Collins for a base hit. She was 2 for 3 in the opening game today. And in fact, Oregon Tech only had 3 hits in that entire game, and 2 of them went to Collins. And so she gets off to a good start here, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see Andrea Wheatley try and drop down a bunt and move Collins into scoring position. So Ferreira delivering 1 pitch, and now here comes number 2 of the inning, and it's a bunt, and it's popped up right to the third baseman. Going to be caught by Henry as she charged down the line and made the play. I've been able to see quite a few games here in this tournament, and quite honestly, we've seen a lot of that popped up. The third baseman able to charge down the line, and boy, that's got to drive a coach insane, because it doesn't move up the runner, and then you lose the out on top of it. So here is Ashley Larson with 1 down, runner at first. Larson grounds the first pitch towards short, and Vasquez going to have to go across the diamond, and she just does beat the runner with the throw. Larson called out. That will be 6-3 in the scorebook. Collins able to move to second base on the play. Collins with great speed, able to prevent that from being a potential double play.
Yeah, she got a nice little jump off of first base too to kind of break up that double play.
So here is Jess Plummer now taking high and inside for ball 1. Plummer 0 for 3 in the first game. Runner at second here in the bottom of the first inning. No score between California Baptist and Oregon Tech. The Owls with a threat here in the bottom of the first. And another one misses possibly outside there for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. You wonder if Ferreira maybe being careful here with the cleanup hitter with first base open. There's a line drive to center field. Charging in is August. She's going to throw home, but not in time to slide. And in there safely is Collins, and advancing on the throw down to second base is Plummer. So Plummer delivering a key 2-out RBI single here in the bottom of the first inning.
And good base running on Plummer's part, too, because the catcher was fighting with the home plate umpire, and during that time she was able to advance over to second. So they got a second base runner, or now they've got a second base runner in scoring position, just like they did a second ago as Collins scores. And trust me, that is going to lift their spirits quite a bit here.
And Oregon Tech has picked up some big hits at crucial times throughout the course of this tournament. They were ranked 18th in the final top 25 poll, and quite honestly, I don't think a lot of people saw them making it this far. But they are here, and they are right now leading 1-0 in the bottom of the first against the top-ranked team in the country, California Baptist. That pitch down inside for ball 1 to Brittany Cherry. Cherry 0 for 3 in the first game. Contested between these two schools this afternoon. Ground ball towards short. Vasquez has it bounce off her chest, throws to first, not in time. And more than likely, that is going to be an error. E6 on Vasquez. That will extend the inning. Moving to third base is Plummer on the play, so now runners on the corners with 2 outs.
Yeah, and what I've noticed from Vasquez quite a bit lately, and I don't know how this transitions into the season, but she likes to really get the ball to first quickly. And sometimes if she's a little too forward on that motion, she can potentially get an error. And she did that. I don't know if you were watching the last game pretty close, but she did that the last play of the game where they could have put the game out. Obviously, they ended up getting the very next play, but she caused an error there. Almost the same situation, a routine ground out, and couldn't get it there in time.
A lot of times those fielders, like you were saying, kind of take their eye off the ball, looking to first base to get that thing in the glove and get it uncorked to try and get the out. But she had time if she would have fielded it cleanly. Here's the wind and the pitch by Ferreira, and it is in there. A called strike at the plate now is Bree Larson. Larson 0 for 3. Kind of sound like a broken record with this box score from the previous game, but it's a 1-0 lead here in game number 2 for Oregon Tech. That one fouled back and out of play, and now Ferreira up in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. There is some activity down in the California Baptist bullpen, and I'm assuming that is Emma Holden down there if Ferreira continues to struggle. The 0-2 is dug out of the dirt behind home plate by Shoemaker. Defensively for the Lancers, it's Gorham in left, August in center, Gallinado in right, Henry at third, Vasquez at short, Corral at second, McCann at first, Shoemaker doing the catching. And the pitch. Change up, swung on and missed, dropped by Shoemaker, but she applies the tag, and the inning is over. But Oregon Tech takes the lead, a run, 2 hits. There was an error, and 2 men left on base. After an inning of play, it is Oregon Tech 1 and California Baptist nothing. You are watching the 2011 NAIA Softball National Championships in a Turbo Sports Group network alongside New Line Broadcasting. Welcome back to Gulf Shores, Alabama. We are set to begin the top of the second inning. Oregon Tech with a 1-0 lead on California Baptist in the 2011 NAIA Softball National Championship. Sloan McCann, the cleanup hitter, will lead off for California Baptist. And a swing and a miss on a pitch low and away by Imhoff for strike 1. McCann 2 for 4, 2 runs batted in the first game, and she had a big night against Belhaven last night, 3 for 4 with a home run and an RBI. The pitch fouled away and out of play behind home plate.
Such a pretty swing she has. Fluid motion from the left side.
And she's got power the opposite way. She can go to left. She can go to left anywhere in the ballpark, so you can't really shift over.
Yeah.
Against McCann. Fouls that one back just to get a piece of it to stay alive at 0-2.
And I think Coach Stewart knows that. I mean, that's why if you notice in the outfield, they're not going to be able to do any of that here.
California Baptist, 97 home runs coming into play today. On the season, that is an unbelievable stat. Check swing, she went around too far and strikes out for out number 1. That is Imhoff's second strikeout of the afternoon. And Imhoff has retired the first 4 hitters she has faced in this ball game, and now Lindsey Henry will come up for California Baptist. Henry 2 for 4 with an RBI in the first game. California Baptist now has 98 home runs after Rodriguez crushed one in the first game today. There's a foul ball up and out of play for strike 1.
And what I'd imagine Imhoff's going to be trying to do here is in the 4, 5, 6, 7 spots. I mean, that's really the heart of the lineup for California Baptist, and they all went to work on the pitchers.
There's a line drive right to the first baseman, Schmidt, who gloves it for the outs. 2 down.
They all went 2 for 4 in that first game, so Imhoff's glad that she's getting through this already with 2 outs pretty quickly, and if she can continue to do that, that's really what's going to help the Owls get a little bit farther into this game with that lead.
And here is Maura Rodriguez. We mentioned her with the home run in that first game. She was 2 for 4, a couple of runs batted in, pops that one up foul as it bounces towards the California Baptist dugout on the first base side for Oregon Tech. Defensively, Bree Larson is in left, Cherry in center, Wheatley in right, Plummer at third, Collins at short, Ashley Larson is at second, Schmidt at first, Schaeffer doing the catching. And, of course, Imhoff on the mound trying to work another scoreless inning here this afternoon. Blows the fastball by her at the letters. Swing and a miss for strike 2. 0-2 the count on Rodriguez. Imhoff working quickly, deals. Fouled back and had a rise ball going again. And That time Rodriguez just able to get the top of the bat on the ball and foul it away.
Yeah, she's in the zone right now, you can tell, and up 0-2. Now she's going to be able to do a little bit of work, maybe get Rodriguez to chase a little bit.
0-2 pitch. Slap foul at home plate, and we'll do it again at 0-2. And Chase, it doesn't look like, so far anyway, that we have seen too many ill effects from that injury to Imhoff in the first game.
Yeah, definitely.
Good velocity on the pitches. She's getting good movement. The 0-2, not there. Let that one go a little bit too soon. It slipped out of her hand for ball one. 1 ball and 2 strikes. But in an 0-2 count with 2 outs in the top of the second inning, you can kind of laugh that off a little bit, which Imhoff is doing. And now regrouping behind the circle. So 1-2, here it comes. Fouled away again. And California Baptist, I only got to see pretty much one game with them, and that was last night, Belhaven. What they do a very good job of is when they get 2 strikes on them, they're tough to put away. And they'll make your pitcher work, and they fouled off a lot of tough 2-strike pitches last night and then earlier today as well. So 1-2, the count. Will do it again. Here comes from Imhoff, and a ground ball towards short. Diving attempt made, but it gets by Collins into left field. They're probably going to score that a base hit. And so that will be a hit for Rodriguez. So she is aboard with 2 down here in the top of the second inning. So Shoemaker will now come up. Shoemaker 2 for 4 with a run scored in the first game today. Shoemaker taking some time to look down at head coach Mike Smith over at third. And here comes the pitch from Imhoff. Up and away for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 game in favor of Oregon Tech. Top of the second inning here in the NAIA National Championship contest. Imhoff delivers. And it's in there, a called strike 1-1 the count. And we were talking about this off air. It's kind of interesting. You know, baseball and softball are 2 similar sports, but a lot of times they do things much differently. They flipped a coin to determine home team again before this one. Here's a ground ball past the first baseman down the right field line as Rodriguez hustling around second. She will get the third. And a nice play by Wheatley to get to the line and get that back in. That holds Shoemaker to a single, and it keeps Rodriguez from scoring. Now runners on first and third and 2 outs. I was going to say in baseball they would have alternated the home and visitor teams, but here in softball they flip a coin between each game to determine who is the home team.
And a perfect example here we talked about throughout the week is just what kind of reaction speed these first and third basemen got to have on balls just played like that. And in that situation, man, that is the toughest kind of play to grab.
Foul ball off the bat on the third base side by Vasquez. That's one of the things that watching softball, it's especially the corner infielders, how they charge down the line, and sometimes they end up maybe 5-6 feet away from home plate, especially if they think a hitter is going to bunt. And a lot of times that hitter will square around and try and slap it by him. Swing and a miss, 0-2 the count. Vasquez did not have a hit in that first game. She was 0 for 2.
This is a huge moment in the game right now. I mean, you got runners at the corners and a chance to put them away.
0-2, fouled away.
And she was up 0-2 on Rodriguez. Rodriguez battled back, like you said, how Cal Baptist does time and time again, and eventually got that base hit, and now she's over at third.
In these type of ball games, boy, 2-out hitting with runners in scoring position can mean the difference between a win and a loss. That pitch is high and outside for ball 1, 1-2. We saw Oregon Tech score with a 2-out RBI hit. And that's the difference in the game right now, 1-0. Here in the national championship contest. The line and the 1-2 by Imhoff. Strike 3 called over the outside corner, and the inning is over. What a pitch by Imhoff. as the Lancers strand 2 on base. Shoemaker at first, Rodriguez at third, and we will head to the bottom of the second. Oregon Tech still leading 1-0 over California Baptist. The official travel partner of the NAIA would like to congratulate all the NAIA championship teams on an excellent season. Anthony Travel is proud to assist these teams to reach their destinations during postseason play and throughout the year. For more information regarding the sports travel specialists at Anthony Travel, please visit anthonytravel.com or call 1-866-ATI-NAIA. Anthony Travel, proud to be the official travel partner of the NAIA. And we're happy to be here in Gulf Shores, Alabama. This Sports Commission here in Gulf Shores has done an outstanding job hosting this tournament. First year it has been here, moving from Decatur, Alabama, up north in the state to Gulf Shores here this week. And I think if you're going to ask all 32 teams if they had a good time, and no matter win or loss, no matter if they won or lost, I think they're all going to say they had an enjoyable experience here in Gulf Shores.
Yeah, they've put together an unbelievable facility here, and we've been talking about it all week long, how this place has only got an inch of rain in 2 months, and you wouldn't be able to tell by the green grass here at each of these fields. And that just shows you what kind of work and commitment they put in. And same even on the soccer side. They've hosted the soccer this year for the first time. And I know you had come down to a few games when Belhaven was in the national tournament. And same thing there. I mean, just perfect facilities. And obviously at the time of the year, it's a great place to have it. So.
And this grounds crew has done an excellent job. I mean, you look out at the outfield grass, and you think without a fence, and you might see a green out there somewhere that it's like fairway grass out there in the outfield. It's something that they've really put together. Nice job here in Gulf Shores. Here's a ground ball to short. Vasquez up, throws to first, and one pitch, one out in the bottom of the second inning for California Baptist as they trail 1-0 to Oregon Tech here in the NAIA National Championship Tournament. Schmidt with the ground out that time. And Schmidt, prior to that at bat, was 0 for 3 today, and now 0 for 4 if you combine the two games. Sarah Coates into the batter's box now. Goes the opposite way and drops one foul down the right field line. For strike one, no balls and one strike. Coates 0 for 2. And I guess what could be called the first championship game today. California Baptist coming into the day today had to beat Oregon Tech twice. And they were successful in the first game and now find themselves down by a run here. Foul ball, this time to left. And quickly 2 strikes on Coates. One down here in the bottom of the second. No balls, 2 strikes. Ferreira into the motion, fires. This is low and away. Tried to get her to the chase that one down in the dirt, but Coates with a pretty good eye, able to lay off of it, 1-2. 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. And, well, now the umpire says she just did get a piece of it. It popped in and out of the glove of Shoemaker. Had she held on, it would have been a strikeout. So Coates able to remain at home plate. Waits back on that one, lines it to short. Vasquez nearly went too far to her right, had to reach back with her glove hand to make the catch, but she does so successfully, and 2 up, 2 down here in the bottom of the second. And here is Katie Schaeffer. Schaeffer yesterday had the only hit for Oregon Tech against California Baptist, and it went over the wall, and it was the difference in the game. Nasty change up there from Ferreira, and Schaeffer way out in front, swings over it for a strike.
Yeah, that's a big fan there. Whew.
Definitely not looking for that pitch. That one a little bit faster, hangs upstairs a little bit. 1 ball and 1 strike. But for Schaeffer, that's probably her biggest hit of her career yesterday. She hit that ball over the fence to send Oregon Tech directly to the championship game. Bouncer foul through the batter's box over at, or the on-deck circle over at third base. And the count stays 1-2. 2 down, bottom of the second. Oregon Tech with a 1-0 lead. The pitch hit well to left. Going back is Gorman, reaches up and makes the catch in front of the fence. And the inning is over. Schaeffer almost had another home run in back-to-back days. But as it stands, California Baptist will head to the batter's box, trailing by a run as we head to the top of the third. Here from Gulf Shores, Alabama. Mutual of Omaha Insurance Company is providing insurance coverage for all your student athletes. Contact the knowledgeable professionals at Mutual of Omaha for all your collegiate accident insurance needs. One of the key sponsors for NAIA athletics. We'd like to thank Mutual of Omaha for their help all season long. As looking ahead to the top of the third inning, California Baptist down by a run here against Oregon Tech, and they're going to send up the 9, 1, and 2 hitters to face Imhoff, who Chase worked out of a jam, striking out the final batter last inning with runners on first and third as California Baptist threatened to tie it up or maybe even take the lead.
Yeah, and she found herself in some precarious situations in game one like that and couldn't get out of them. And as a result, ended up getting pulled a little early, but came back this time around, did a great job to refocus and obviously get some rest in between games. As a senior on this team, you know, she's setting a standard for the Owls here, and she did so in that second inning. And the big thing here is going to be with August having some speed around the base pads, they definitely want to get her on in order to hopefully get her around the bases for the Lancers here.
Marshawn August 0 for 2 in the first game with a run scored. Standing in the batter's box is Imhoff, kicks and fires and misses up high for ball one. 1 ball and no strikes. No runs, 3 hits, and an error for California Baptist. According to the official score, 1 run, 2 hits, no errors for Oregon Tech. And the pitch hit in the air on the infield. Back is Collins battling the wind, reaches up, makes the catch. Good thing she used 2 hands there. I saw that ball rolling around in her glove a little bit.
Yeah, we've seen some fly balls get pushed quite a bit in game one with this wind. I'm glad for the wind, though, because it would be a lot hotter if we didn't have it.
Temperatures have been in the 80s and sometimes 90s this entire week, but very comfortable today, especially for folks who are used to this weather here in the South. It can certainly be a lot hotter and more humid than what it is here today. As we go back to the top of the order, Tina Gallinado, and she takes high and outside for ball one. Gallinado 0 for 1 on the afternoon. Hitting from the left side of the plate. The pitch low and away for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. California Baptist, as long as they're down by just a run, 1 swing of the bat away from tying it up. And there's a good fastball there up at the letters by Imhoff. And Gallinado swings through it. Imhoff certainly challenging each of these hitters, going right at him. 2-1 pitch, hit well to right field, but I think it's going to stay in. Now coming in a few steps, the wind pushing it back towards the infield, making the catch is Wheatley. And there are 2 down here in the top of the third inning. Brianna Corral will head to the plate now, and evidently they ruled that ball in the first inning a base hit. She is 1 for 1. That one that Collins bobbled the throw was a little bit high, pulled the first baseman off the bag. They did rule it a base hit. And the first offering to her this time is a strike. So 1 ball and 1 strike. That one hit shallow left, but it hangs up in the air, giving plenty of time for Bree Larson to run under it. She's there. She makes the catch. And the side is retired here in the top of the third. 3 up, 3 down, nothing across for California Baptist. We head to the bottom of the third. Oregon Tech maintaining a 1-0 lead. You're watching the 2011 NAIA Softball National Championship in the Turbo Sports Group Network alongside New Lion Broadcasting. Bottom of the third inning here from Gulf Shores, Alabama. Oregon Tech with a 1-0 lead, and the Owls up at the plate trying to add to it here. As Ferreira trying to keep it a 1-0 deficit. Shauna Collins leading off for Oregon Tech takes inside for ball one. Collins 1 for 1 with a run scored. The pitch a little bit outside for ball two. 2 balls and no strikes. Jess Plummer has the other hit for the Owls, an RBI single coming with 2 outs in the first inning. That has been it so far. As far as the offense is concerned, Ferreira deals down low for ball 3, 3 balls and no strikes.
Shauna's been with the one bright spot, I would say, for the Owls here in the national championship here today, with going 2 for 3 in that first game, and then obviously getting the base hit and the run scored earlier.
3-0 turns away from one, but it caught the inside corner. And now 3 balls and a strike on Shauna Collins. And if you get good pitching, sometimes that's all you need. You need a couple of people to step up, come up with big hits, and so far that's been the case in this ball game for Oregon Tech. That one delivered high, maybe outside there for ball 4, and a good at bat for Collins as she reaches to lead off the bottom of the third inning. And now Shoemaker will head to the mound to talk with Ferreira.
Yeah, and Coach Stewart was a little liberal and aggressive in his play calling and base running in that first game, and you can tell. I mean, even right off the bat, they were trying to get that run to the plate, and it ended up getting thrown out twice in 2 different situations. One trying to be a double steal. So I wonder if he'll be a little more safe in this game, trying to get more runs.
Here's Wheatley dropping down a very good bunt, and it's going to roll foul. That was a smart play by Shoemaker and Henry to let that thing go because they had no chance at throwing out Wheatley at first base. Wheatley 0 for 1 in this ball game today.
She laid it well, though. Man, it barely missed.
Henry pulled all the way, about halfway, now 2/3 of the way in at home plate, and I'm sure she'll be charging here on the pitch. Here she comes. Another bunt attempt. This one is in fair territory, and just in time, Shoemaker able to throw her out at first, but that will be a sacrifice. 2-4 on the play at first, and that advances Collins into scoring position at second base. So very good execution by Oregon Tech. And now Larson, the number 3 hitter, up with a chance to make it a 2-0 game if she's able to get a base hit. 0 for 1 at the plate as she bunted in the first inning and ended up popping out to third base.
And I think the hesitation there was, Kirk, I think they thought it was going to go foul again, that bunt.
There's a delivery down low. Check that. Larson grounded out to short her first time up. It was Wheatley who had popped out to third on that first bunt attempt, but that second one, she dropped it down nicely there, got the job done. Swing and a miss, change speeds on it. That one had a good last bit of momentum down and out of the strike zone as it was crossing the plate. So 2 balls and a strike on Larson. 1 down here in the bottom of the third. Collins at second for Oregon Tech. Nice diving stop by the third baseman Henry. To her feet, throws to third, and now they go back over to third base. Collins in there safely. Henry throws out Larson at first, and that may have saved a run.
What a grab. Vasquez did a great job to keep that in play.
It certainly saved a base hit. So now 2 outs. And Jess Plummer coming up. Found herself in this situation her first at bat and delivered an RBI single to center. That one roped off the fence that stands in front of the dugout on the third base side for strike 1.
That was Henry that put that, not Vasquez, right? Third base?
Yes, that's
okay.
correct. Yep.
Yeah, that was my fault.
Ferreira delivers, swing and a miss, but sometimes as much movement as takes place on the infield, you're not quite sure once they all get set up who actually is making the stop. So 1-2 the count. Now on Plummer. Collins over at third. There's a pitch that's popped up foul and out of play. And it will remain a no ball, 2 strike count on Plummer. 2 down here in the bottom of the third. Here comes the pitch from Ferreira. Swing and a miss. She struck her out, and the inning is over. Oregon Tech threatens to add to their 1-0 lead, but they leave a runner 60 feet away from home plate, and we will head to the top of the 4th inning. Oregon Tech hanging on to a 1-0 advantage over California Baptist here in the 2011 NAIA National Championship game. Folks, the NAIA would like to thank National Car Rental, the official automobile rental company of the NAIA. For a higher level of service, call National Car Rental at 1-800-CAR-RENT. National Car Rental, green means go. This has certainly been a very entertaining tournament, and Oregon Tech and California Baptist right now in a very good ball game here in the national championship. And Chase, you never know how a team is going to come out, especially after Oregon Tech got beat 7-0 in that first game. You're not sure what their morale is over there on that bench, but they came out strong. And I think the key for them so far, they got ahead with that run in the bottom of the first, and they've been able to ride that momentum a little bit here into this 4th inning.
Yeah, I think what helped them was they got a little momentum coming from that defensive side too, which kind of carried over into their half of the offensive end, and they were able to put a couple things together and obviously get the run scored. And how momentum plays in college sports, I mean, it's unbelievable, and you see that here, and it's almost like Imhoff's got a whole brand new life ahead of her.
And you mentioned that defense, specifically that double play turned by Collins. After California Baptist had put a runner on base, that double play ended the inning. So Imhoff ready to go again here in the top of the 4th. And she misses up high for ball 1 on her first offering of the inning. As Gorham standing at home plate for California Baptist. She's the one that hit into that double play her first time up. There's a strike at the letters over the inside corner. And now the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. No runs, 3 hits and an error for California Baptist. A run, 2 hits, and no errors for Oregon Tech. The wind and the 1-1 by Imhoff. It's in there again at the knees over the inside part of the plate, 1-2. And I think if Oregon Tech hangs on to win this one, I think you can look back at that decision by Greg Stewart to pull her out of that first game. Here's a high drive, pretty well hit to left, but it is twisting foul and well out of play. Count remains 1-2. That to just take her out, give her a chance to rest up a little bit, and now seems like she's gotten that strength back and is really pitching well.
Big thing, though, I would imagine is Stewart's squad has got to get more runs on the board. I mean, you're talking about the #1 team in the country in California Baptist. The way they just, I mean, they handed it to them in game 1, to be honest, and they've done it all season long. If you look at their score lines, I mean, they're beating teams in the 20s to 0, and they can get the runs. So
2-2 pitch hit to second base. Nice stop. Is going to her knees is Ashley Larson and throws cleanly over to first base for the out. But and we're kind of talking about it earlier, as long as it is a 1-0 game, every person pretty much, I think, that California Baptist sends to the plate, one swing of the bat, they can tie it up.
Exactly.
There is not a weak spot in that lineup at all. And here's a tough customer at the plate. Speaking of good hitters, swing and a miss for strike one. As Imhoff able to get ahead in the count. 0-1 pitch fouled away behind home plate. And as Sloan McCann up in the batter's box for California Baptist. The pitch fouled away and out of play on that first base side, or third base side. So one
coming into this game was .20 or 0.020 ERA. I mean, that's just phenomenal.
Imhoff misses outside there, 1-2 the count. One out here in the top of the fourth inning, a 1-0 game in favor of Oregon Tech. Imhoff fires. That one hit foul coming towards our broadcast area and dropping out of the confines of the Sportsplex here on field number one. Sloan McCann 0 for 1 in the ball game. She struck out swinging her first time up. That strikeout came to begin the second. Almost went around there. She was able to hold up on a pitch low and away.
Yeah, back in game one, she had a double and a single, both getting RBIs. So she definitely contributed in game one and to their success of getting those 7 runs on the scoreboard.
And McCann last night against Belhaven put California Baptist in front 1-0 with a big home run to left center. Hooks that one fouling out of play down the right field line. And she is battling right now. 2 balls and 2 strikes at home plate. Top of the fourth inning. And the pitch just a little bit low for ball 3, 3-2. Chase, that's got to be a tough pitch to lay off of, especially with 2 strikes.
For sure. She's pretty confident that it missed, but that was mighty close.
3-2, here comes the payoff delivery. Ran that one in on her hands, and she fought it off up against the screen on the third base side. And it remains full at 3-2. I know it sounds like a broken record, but California Baptist just fouls off pitch after pitch after pitch, and pretty soon the chances of the pitcher making a mistake and leaving one out over the plate increase as the at-bat continues. Another foul ball, change-up that McCann was out in front of, but she spins and rolls it foul, first base side.
When you get deep into a pitch count, it's always the pressure gets on the pitcher because the batter's used to it now. The pitcher has to stay that consistent to not give it a walk.
Swing and a miss. Imhoff wins that battle. Good fastball, down and out. And McCann, I don't know if she was looking for something else there or what, but she swung over top of it. Very good pitch by Imhoff. And it's now 2 outs on the scoreboard here in the top of the fourth. Lindsey Henry coming up now. She is 0 for 1. And the pitch is right in there for a strike. 0-1 the count. Imhoff with a lot of confidence right now. Delivers the 0-1. There's a sharp ball, backhanded play made by Collins. It's short, the throw across in time. Collins making an outstanding play to end the inning. It will go 6-3 in the scorebook, and we will go to the bottom of the fourth inning as Oregon Tech leading California Baptist 1-0 in the NAIA National Championship game here in Gulf Shores, Alabama. The NAIA would like to thank Buffalo Funds. If you're looking for a new mutual fund, research the Buffalo Funds at www.buffalofunds.com. Buffalo Funds is a proud sponsor of the NAIA Champions of Character program. So Oregon Tech with a 1-0 advantage here in the bottom of the 4th inning, and I don't keep talking about it, but I think it's going to be important for them to add to this lead here, 1-0. I know Imhoff is pitching very well, but California Baptist certainly not out of the ball game at this juncture.
Yeah, one play, and it changes the whole dynamic of this game. So,
and not to overlook Ferreira, who has pitched very well as well for California Baptist so far. 3 innings of work, 2 hits, giving up just the 1 run. She's walked 1, struck out 2. And the 2 hits that she has given up came in that 1st inning, resulting in the run scored by the Owls, coming on the base hit by Jess Plummer. And here's Brittany Cherry to lead off the bottom of the 4th. 0 for 1. The pitch inside for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Ferreira slings it in there and misses inside again for ball 2, 2-0. Oregon Tech stranding a runner at 3rd last inning. The pitch is outside for ball 3, 3-0. In fact, Shauna Collins walked to begin the inning, but then Ferreira got Plummer to end the inning and keep it a 1-0 game, but she misses on 4 straight there in the 2nd consecutive inning where she has walked the leadoff hitter.
with them both being West Coast teams, obviously one of them being in the Golden State and one being in the Cascade, they do play some of the similar teams during the regular season, and there's been some just interesting outcomes and results from some of the games where both teams one would lose one would win one, and it's against the same team, but then they'd come back and they'd play the same team again or another team, similar opponents, and then the scores would be flip-flopped. And they're large games. I mean, I'm looking at teams like Corbin and Idaho. They're all playing each other, and it almost shows that these teams are pretty even.
There's a ground ball foul. No balls and 2 strikes. There's certainly some very good softball up in the Northwest and, of course, on the West Coast as well with California Baptist. That Golden State Athletic Conference is one of the tougher conferences in the country. And it is certainly not an easy feat to go 66-4, which California Baptist is coming into this game. That pitch down low and away for ball 1, 1-2 the count. Bree Larson is at the plate for Oregon Tech. Runner on first base and not showing bunt early in this at bat. Here's the 1-2. Here's a fly ball to left and a good jump out there by Gorham. Got to it near the line and left and made the catch. And she's also playing in a little bit as well, and a very good defensive alignment there against Bree Larson to record the out. F7 in the scorebook if you're scoring at home. And Cherry back to first base, who led the inning off with a walk. Taylor Schmidt now coming up 0 for 1. Here's the wind and the pitch. Off the plate inside for ball 1. Some of the California Baptist people thought that looked pretty good. It's tough to tell how far inside it might have been from our location here, but we can see a pretty good view of if it's up in the strike zone. There's a ground ball through the left side of the infield, and that will make its way through to left for a base hit. And stopping at second will be Cherry. Taylor Schmidt, who had grounded out to short her first time up, is now 1 for 2. And that is the 3rd hit of the afternoon for Oregon Tech, and we are going to have a pitching change here for California Baptist.
They look to be a little frustration in Coach Smith. He was not happy with, I don't know if it was a pitch that he had called and Ferrer didn't throw it or what the case was, but I mean he ripped the ball out of her glove and tossed it over to Emma, but that's tough. Obviously, with only 1 out and now 2 runners on, Holden's going to have to get out of this inning without giving up any runs. And She won four or three in a third, but comes into a precarious situation again where she's going to have to stop the momentum of the Owls, and that might be hard to do right now.
Holden pitched the first game, started, went 6 innings, allowed 3 hits, but did not give up a run, walked 1, struck out 1, and with that victory, she improved to 35-2, and now she'll have a chance to maybe get another victory here, but trailing 1-0 and runners on first and second, she's going to have to get out of this jam and look for the offense to pick up for California Baptist. So Ferreira, 3 1/3 innings of work, 3 hits, 1 run. It was earned. She walked 2, struck out 2, and both runners on base are her responsibility. So she could end up giving up 3 runs in this afternoon's ball game. And now we're going to have a pinch runner coming in for California Baptist. We'll get the number on Danielle Sayers coming in for Oregon Tech, and she will run at first base for Schmidt. And in softball rules, you can re-enter your starter once back into the same spot in the lineup, so lots of strategy revolves around that, especially with pinch runners. And when you bring in a pinch runner at what juncture of the ball game, there's a foul back and out of play by Sarah Coates, who is 0 for 1. So no balls and a strike on Sarah Coates. 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Key juncture of the ball game for both teams. Oregon Tech with a 1-0 lead, trying to add to it. Change up there. Fisted foul, first base side, and now it's 0-2. And if you're Holden coming in, you've got the 8 and 9 hitters due up in the lineup, and these are the 2 hitters you got to get here. You do not want to go back to the top of the order in this inning. Popped up foul, and sliding but unable to get there is the catcher for California Baptist, Shoemaker. Made a good attempt at it, as it did stay in play, but it was just out of her reach. And the count remains no balls and 2 strikes on Coates. Holden deals. And a little bit outside for ball 1, 1-2 the count. Brought the fastball in there that time. And Coates able to have good discipline and stay away from it. The 1-2 hit high in the air, foul territory left field, but it's drifting out of play. And the count remains at 1-2. And Oregon Tech, their hitter's doing a nice job in this ball game, staying alive with 2 strikes at the plate. Ferreira made 47 total pitches before she departed here in this inning. Holden gets a new softball from the home plate umpire. And she is ready to go again. 1-2 the count. And the pitch. Rip foul to left. Got on top of that high fastball and hooked it out of play down the left field line. Coming up following this game, the NAIA here at Gulf Shores will present the trophies and plaques to all 4 of the top 4 teams. All tournament team will be announced as well. Here is the delivery by Holden. Swing and a miss. She got it by her that time up the ladder, and that is a strikeout and a big one for Holden.
That ball just kept elevating, too, as it got near the plate, and a little tough to get a hold of that was the last Owl batter.
And Holden is able to get those strikeouts, the way she's able to deliver the ball and especially change speeds. There's a strike at the knees to Cade Schaeffer. Flew out to left field her first time up, so she is 0 for 1. Oregon Tech has left 3 runners on base this afternoon. California Baptist has left 2. There's another foul back. 0-2 the count. And Holden is doing a good job getting ahead of the hitters. Ferreira walked the leadoff hitter on 4 straight pitches, and you're mentioning that Coach Smith a little bit frustrated with Ferreira when he took her out of the ball game. I think maybe that had something to do with it as well. Here's a fastball high and inside for ball one, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Holden got the win earlier today and got a save last night against Bellhaven as Ferreira started that contest and ended up getting the win. And now Schaeffer is going to the dugout to get a new bat. I don't know if there was a crack in the bat or sometimes the caps on the end of those metal bats will pop out. One-two offering, swing and a miss. She struck her out and the inning is over. And Oregon Tech has stranded 2 more runners on base, one of them in scoring position. They have left 5 now through 4. But they maintain a 1-0 lead here in the national championship game as we head to the top of the 5th from Gulf Shores, Alabama. You're watching the 2011 NAIA Softball National Championship on the Turbo Sports Group Network alongside New Lion Broadcasting. Jackie Imhoff will deal with the 6, 7, and 8 hitters for California Baptist here in the top of the 5th inning. Right now she holds on to a 1-0 lead as Oregon Tech trying to accomplish a first in their school's history, and that's a softball national championship. Maura Rodriguez will lead off. She is 1 for 1, singled to shortstop her first time up. Here's a little roller back to second, and no play will be made as Ashley Larson stumbled a little bit. She got to the ball, but then fell on her backside and had no throw, and I think that's probably going to be ruled a base hit. It will be. As Rodriguez now will be pinch run for, as Amanda Collins will pinch run over at first base. So a leadoff infield single for California Baptist, and now they've got the tying run on with nobody out. Nicole Shoemaker at the plate. She is 1 for 1. Tries the bunt, and that was a tough pitch to try and get down there. It was up in the zone, and very difficult to A, make contact with it, B, to keep it from popping up into the air. And she was successful at keeping it down, but not in fair territory. So no balls and a strike. The pitch showing bunt again. She did pop that one up, but foul and back to the screen, and now 0-2. And now the question is Shoemaker going to try and bunt with 2 strikes? If you bunt it foul with 2 strikes, you're out. And sometimes you'll see coaches do that. They'll keep the sign on and take their chances. Shoemaker singled down the right field line, and that first at bat, the pitch. Swinging away, she strikes out. And a big out for Imhoff in the top of the 5th. April Vasquez coming to the plate now, another left-handed hitter in this Lancer lineup. 1-0 game in favor of Oregon Tech. Here's a bunt. And coming down the line is the third baseman Plummer. She'll throw over to first base, where the second baseman Larson was covering. So that will go 5-4 on the sacrifice bunt. does create 2 outs in the inning, but it moves the runner down the second.
They might try to pinch hit here. They did last time. Same batter, I believe, that they did in the last game. Yep, Star White.
And she was 1 for 1, had an RBI double in her pinch hit appearance in the first game, and that seemed to really open the floodgates for the California Baptist offense in that first game. Got them going a little bit. Eventually winning at 7-0 to force this, if necessary, game. So 2 outs. Collins, the pinch runner down at second, is now going to be motioned in from Coach Smith to talk with he, along with Star White, who is pinch hitting at home plate.
Yeah, and with the speed Collins has, I think if she gets a good enough jump and it's a base hit, they're going to score.
And at this point, I mean, with runs at a premium, if you get a base hit, you gotta take that chance.
Yeah, exactly.
So we are ready to go again. The conference is over with. And the pitch is up high for ball 1. Star White pinch hitting here in the top of the 5th inning with 2 outs. California Baptist trying to knot this game up. Right now it's Oregon Tech's advantage, 1-0. Imhoff into the motion, fires low for ball 2, 2-0. Now you do have first base open here if you're Imhoff, but this is the number 9 spot in the order.
Yeah, Imhoff's, I think, trying to at least stay away from a clean look at it. Still wants to try to catch. Typically when you got a designated hitter, they're going to be a little more aggressive at the plate.
Here's a high fly ball, well hit to left, but it is hooking foul, and there is a massive collision out there with the fence that borders the in-play territory and out-of-play territory as Bree Larson went head first into that chain link fence. And the Oregon Tech staff, along with head coach Mike Smith for California Baptist, immediately running down that direction to make sure that Bree Larson was okay, but she bounced to her feet and is already back out in left field.
Just showed some class, too. Even Coach Mike Smith, I mean, he was on a dead sprint out to left field to check on her.
Imhoff wondering where the softball is. Now it comes out. Holding her hands out in the center of the diamond, said, well, I need a ball to throw in there.
So many foul balls.
Yeah.
The event staff around here is super busy.
2 balls and a strike to count. And White, good eye there, lays off the high fastball, and now it's 3-1. And now a decision here for Imhoff. Do you challenge her? Or do you try and make the perfect pitch, and if it's not in there, it's not in there? But again, you always got to be wary with Gallinado on deck in that top of the order for the Lancers. Ground ball towards short. Off the chest of Collins, recovers, stumbles, and can't get to her feet to make an attempt at the throw. I would guess that is probably going to be an error. But I was wrong before. So we'll see how they rule it here in a moment. Whatever the ruling, it will be a situation with runners on first and third as Marshawn August checks back in at first base, re-entering the ball game.
If I was the official scoring this, I would give it an error because you're at the national championship game. I think it's hit pretty much right to her. I mean, you've got to be able to field that cleanly. It did have a little bit of pace on it, but I still think it's got to be considered an error there.
And even if she didn't field it cleanly, she still, I think, had a chance to pick it up, but she kind of stumbled a little bit. Probably tried to rush herself to make that quick throw. So now runners on first and third, the tying run for California Baptist 60 feet away from home plate. And a 1-0 game that favors Oregon Tech.
August has come back in the game to be the runner.
And she has very good speed.
Yeah.
You would think the wheels probably turn a little bit here. Do you think she might be off and running the second? Maybe try and get that double steal, and that pitch is in there, a strike. Fake like she was going to take off. It puts the defense in a very precarious situation. If they throw down the second, you've got a chance to try and run the runner in from third.
Yep.
But if they don't throw, then you automatically get second base and have the go-ahead run in scoring position as well. But the play not on that time, and 0-1 the count on Gallinato's swing and a foul back. And now it's 0-2.
And for me, it's you take the which one's lesser of two evils, I guess. You know, and in this part of the game, it's tough to make that call.
Because if somehow they get an out, the inning is over and you've blown your chance to score. And that's why they get paid the money to coach. And I get to sit up here and just watch and observe. Now taking off and running is White, and she will be in at second base safely. Or make that August. August again re-entering, and so no throw on the play, and that will set up runners at second and third. 1-2 the count. 2 down here in the top of the fifth. Oregon Tech with a 1-0 lead, but California Baptist with a base hit could turn the tables here in this inning. Imhoff delivers. Fouled away again. 1-2. And that's got to be a frustrating thing for the pitcher. You deal pitch after pitch after pitch, and the hitter fouls it off and fouls it off and fouls it off and stays alive. But Imhoff has been able to, more times than not here this afternoon, make her pitch. And she'll try it here with 1-2 the count. Here it comes. Strike 3 called at the knees. And the inning is over. California Baptist strands runners at second and third, and we go to the bottom of the fifth inning. Oregon Tech keeping their 1-0 lead. We'll head to the fifth, bottom of the fifth that is, here in the national championship game in Gulf Shores, Alabama. What a pitch by Imhoff. And California Baptist's coach is not in agreement that time, but
it's mighty close. It probably could have gone either way, but like I always say, if you're this late in the game and you're watching a called third strike go by, that's some of that comes back on the team, and even inevitably the batter as well. You've got to be aggressive. I mean, you got runners second and third with a count that's pretty critical. You can't be watching much.
And like we said before, we can't really see if it's off the plate inside or outside, but to me it looked like it crossed the plate at the knees if it did cross the plate, but I can't comment on where it was on the plate, but I think definitely it's safe to say that that's too close to just let go by. I mean, unless she was just completely fooled looking for something else. But what it did is it sent this game to the bottom of the fifth inning and kept it at 1-0 advantage in favor of Oregon Tech. And now if you're Cal Baptist, you got to fight through the adversity and try and keep the Owls off the board here in the bottom of the fifth. Oregon Tech has left 5 runners on base. They got ahead in that first inning.
What they end up giving that, a hit or an error on that?
Looks like an error.
Star Whites.
Yep.
Was an error. Okay.
Let me double check my screen again here, but I believe it was an error. Swing and a miss on Shauna Collins. She is 1 for 1 with a run scored. Also walked, so she's been on base twice. Swing and a miss again. Holden is really bringing it here. 0-2 the count. A run, 3 hits, and an error for Oregon Tech. No runs, 4 hits, and an error for California Baptist. The Lancers have left 4. Oregon Tech has left 5. Swing and a miss. She struck her out for out number 1. 3 pitches, and just like that, 1 out. And now Andrea Wheatley will come up. Wheatley is 0 for 1.
Wheatley's been kind of the bearer of bunts today.
Hits that one the opposite way to left, but Gorham playing in makes the catch. And Wheatley had bunted successfully once and not so successfully the other time. But now is 0 for 2, and Ashley Larson will come up. looking for her first hit of the day. 2 down here in the bottom of the 5th. There's a strike. In at the knees. 0-1 the count. Been a tightly contested game here in game number 2 this afternoon. Change up in there called strike 0-2. California Baptist winning the first game to force this necessary game. The final was 7-0. And now they trail 1-0 here. And the pitch. A little bit outside. Evidently, it looked to have the right height. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now the count on Larson. Into the motion goes Holden. She delivers. Hit high in the air to left. Fairly deep, but it's going to be contained by the ballpark as Gorman squeezes it for the out. And a quick 1-2-3 inning for Holden and the Lancers here in the 5th. We'll go to the 6th. Oregon Tech leading California Baptist in the 2011 NAIA Softball National Championship game. 1-0 is the score. You're watching the NAIA National Softball Championship on Turbo Sports Group Network alongside New Lion Broadcasting. Welcome back to Gulf Shores, Alabama. Here at the Gulf Shores Sportsplex. We are in the 6th inning of the NAIA National Championship game, and Oregon Tech leads 1-0. California Baptist will try and change that here in the top of the 6th as they'll send up the 2, 3, and 4 hitters, Corral, Gorham, and McCann, to face Jackie Imhoff, who has been stellar so far. 5 innings of work, 4 hits, no runs allowed. She has not walked anybody, not hit anybody, and has struck out 6. And her first pitch is low, maybe inside for ball 1. Each team has had a chance to either tie it up or take the lead or add to their lead, but so far that 1-0 advantage that Oregon Tech was able to secure in the first inning is held up. 1-1 the count now on Corral. 1 for 2 in the ball game. Singled in the first, flied out to left in the third. Imhoff motions towards home plate, and she jams her. Little shallow pop to left. A diving catch is made by Bree Larson. And that took away a base hit. She slid, and then it looked like she backhanded the ball as well and kept it off the turf for the out.
That was just an awesome grab. Not only did she hit a dive, but she made it backhand. That is what we call a web gem right there.
It looked like that one was going to drop for sure, but Larson got a great jump and then made that sliding catch. Here's a ground ball to second base off the bat of Gorham. And another big out. Ashley Larson making a good play on that hard shot. Throws her out 4-3 and 2 down here in the top of the 6th inning.
If you noticed, Ashley, she almost every time the ball is played to her, she gets on her knees and makes the, especially if it's a harder ball.
Certainly trying to keep that from maybe going underneath her glove and into the outfield. There's swinging a foul ball by McCann. McCann 0 for 2. 2 strikeouts, and I'm sure throughout the course of the season that has not happened very much, where she has struck out in back-to-back plate appearances. And is down on the count. No balls and a strike here. 2 outs, nobody on. Top of the 6th inning. And again, we want to keep reminding you, one swing of the bat could tie it up. Oregon Tech leading 1-0. Change up outside, ball 1-1 the count.
Yeah, Sloan's only had 20 strikeouts all season in 70 games.
That is an amazing stat. That pitch is up high for ball 2, 2 balls and 1 strike. You really got a chance to look at their stats before they played last night, and just looking down through all the numbers that they have put up this year, it is something to behold. 2-1 delivered low for ball 3, 3 balls and 1 strike. Just the offensive numbers. So 3 balls, 1 strike. 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning. Oregon Tech with a 1-0 lead. Good swing on that one by McCann, but she fouled it away behind home plate. And it remains 3-2, I think it should be. Scoreboard has 3-1. Yep, so 3-1 to count. 2 outs. And the pitch. Ground ball to shortstop, fielded. And the clean throw across by Collins. The catch by Schmidt at first, and the inning is over. So now Oregon Tech 3 outs away from a national championship. They'll take their swings in the bottom of the 6th, leading at 1-0 against California Baptist.
And what an impressive defensive inning that Oregon Tech just showed. That could have possibly sealed the game for them. Obviously, we got a full another inning, but 3 huge defensive plays: left field, shortstop, and at second base, or excuse me, at shortstop. 3 pretty good plays where they've all had to make some pretty good grabs.
And Imhoff, when she comes back out, which I'm assuming she's going to come back out for the 7th inning now, still with some tough hitters, but you've just made your way through the 2, 3, and 4 hitters. And the scheduled hitters will be Henry, Rodriguez, and Shoemaker up for California Baptist. But Imhoff, has a chance to not have to face McCann, Gorman, Corral for the rest of the afternoon. But I think it's still imperative here for Oregon Tech to, certainly for their comfort, maybe to get a couple more runs and extend this lead at 1-0.
Oh, definitely.
So for Oregon Tech here in the bottom of the 6th inning, it will be Plummer, Cherry, and Larson to face Holden, who came in the 4th inning to get the final 2 outs. Ferreira started the ball game, went 3 in the 3rd, and is responsible for allowing the only run so far this afternoon for either team. No runs, 4 hits and an error for California Baptist. 1 run, 3 hits and an error for Oregon Tech. Plummer swinging away, fouls it back for a strike. Plummer 1 for 2, single to center in the 1st, struck out swinging in the 3rd. Holden again rocks and fires, swung on and missed, and it's 0-2. Plummer, with that base hit to center in the 1st inning, drove in the only run. She had the RBI. Collins had the run scored. 0-2, popped up foul and out of play. First base side. She stays alive at 0-2. Coming into the inning, Imhoff has made 85 pitches, 60 for strikes. And the offering here, pretty close, but evidently missed. And it's now 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Holden fires. Swing and a miss. She got her to chase one there. That almost, it looked like it almost was going to stop halfway between the pitching rubber and home plate. And it kind of hesitated and then dropped in. And Plummer fooled, swung over top of it. And now Brittany Cherry coming up 0 for 1. 1 down here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Oregon Tech up 1-0. There's a strike. Out of the hand of Holden. This is the national championship game, final game of the 2011 season. Little looping line drive, going to drop between the third baseman and the shortstop. They both dove to try to make the catch, and it dropped down safely between Henry and Vasquez. I think you got to score that a base hit. It was placed pretty well. So now Larson will come up with one down and a runner on first base for Oregon Tech. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss for strike one. Larson 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Cherry will run for herself over at first base. Not electing to go a pinch runner here. There's a strike over the inside corner. And now 0-2 on the hitter Brie Larson. Holden getting the sign again, comes set, delivers. Misses high with a rise ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Big hit here for Bree if she can connect here. As a senior, she would obviously love to come out here, get a base hit to extend the lead.
There's a line drive, hooking foul. I think you mentioned it, Chase. We have seen a lot of foul balls here this afternoon. Looking at Cherry's stolen base numbers coming into the tournament, she was 2 for 2 in stolen base attempts. And a swing and a miss there as Larson strikes out. A huge strikeout for Holden. Brings up the second out here in the 6th inning. And it will bring up Taylor Schmidt to home plate. Schmidt has 1 of 4 Oregon Tech hits today. And a wild pitch getting away from Holden, allowing the base runner to move up.
Since Holden's come in, though, I mean, she's been pretty solid. I mean, she's faced 8 batters and struck out 5 of them. So it's been pretty lights out for Emma since she has replaced Ferreira in that 4th inning.
1 ball, no strikes. A runner in scoring position now. Here's a line shot. Foul down the left field line. That just missed. And certainly would have played it a run more than likely. I think here with 2 outs, you get a runner on second base in this game. Either team, you're going to try and score the runner. So Schmidt back in there again. 1 ball and 1 strike. California Baptist trying to keep it a 1-0 game. And the pitch fouled away behind home plate. Oregon Tech trying to extend their lead. As we are nearing the end of this one in the bottom of the 6th inning. Holden taking some extra time in the circle. Wheels and deals to the plate. Misses low. Popped out of the glove of Shoemaker for a moment, but she kept it in front of her. And the count now 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs. A runner on second. That's Cherry, who picked up a hit earlier in the inning. Here comes the 2-2. Hit in the right center field. August calling for it. Makes the catch in the line drive. And the inning has come to a conclusion. No runs, a hit, no errors. Oregon Tech stranding a runner at second base. They've left 6 now. And we'll go to the 7th inning. Oregon Tech is just 3 outs away from a national championship if they can keep California Baptist off the board. And if you're looking ahead here to the top of the 7th inning, it will be Henry, Rodriguez, and Shoemaker for the Lancers to face Imhoff. Don't forget you can purchase a copy of any knockout round game on DVD via Turbo Sports Group's website at www.turbosportsgroup.com or the link on the NAIA softball page. You can locate that two separate places, so we hope you take advantage of that service offered by Turbo Sports and the NAIA here for all the knockout round games in this 2011 NAIA Softball National Championship Tournament.
I'll tell you, there's been some good knockout games, and even a lot of those games to get into the knockout stage in the double elimination. I know a lot of the different pools came down to that last game of the day on Wednesday, and on Saturday. It ended up being a pretty good afternoon.
That's one of those interesting dynamics that pool play brings in. You can go 2-0, and then all of a sudden you're facing an elimination game.
That's true.
And speaking from a Belhaven perspective, Belhaven went into that final pool play game against Lindsey Wilson, who was 2-0, and came out with a 3-1 win, and that ball game that could have gone either way. So that's what you want. It makes things exciting. And it's certainly been a great tournament all the way around this year. Here's a line drive to left field, but it again had too much English on it as it hooks foul. Off the bat of Henry, who was 0 for 2, lined out the first and the second. Grounded out the shorter last time up. And California Baptist has hit some balls hard in this ballgame. We were talking about it earlier, but Oregon Tech has made some good plays. Here's the 0-1. Ground ball towards second. And this is going to be a close play, and the out is recorded. Larson again going to her knees. Did not field it clean. It glanced off the end of her glove. And Larson able to throw to Schmidt to get the out. And Henry, I know this can be debated depending on what your opinion is, but she slid into first base. If she stays on her feet, I don't know. I guess it's my own personal opinion, but she has a chance to get there safely.
Yeah, I agree. Her speed would have been able to follow through, but a little bit more. But I think the right call was made. I still think it was an out. And if you noticed, the assistant coach who was here at the first base isn't the one arguing. He actually had a better view probably than the head coach here. Still wanted probably an explanation on this, but.
So one down, and Henry is out number one. Rodriguez now coming up 2 for 2. She singled through the left side of the infield her first time up, then went back up the middle with a base hit in her second at bat, which was in the fifth. One down, top of the seventh. Oregon Tech up 1-0. And the pitch is in there for a strike. No balls and a strike. Fouled straight back. And now the count 0-2 on Rodriguez. Imhoff, 87 pitches prior to those two there coming into the at-bat. So now 89. She will deliver number 90 here. Line drive this way and out of play. Over top of the broadcast spot.
Yeah, she's ahead in the count here, Kirk, and it's going to be good. 0-2. She's been doing this all game long, so this is a good opportunity for her to get 2 outs.
That one up and away there. And so the at-bat will continue here for Rodriguez. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, top of the 7th inning. Oregon Tech leading 1-0. Another fastball high. Oh, and got away from Imhoff again. Maybe it slipped out of that hand a little bit. 2-2 the count.
And if you stay tuned throughout the rest of the game, we'll show you a couple minutes after of the celebration, but then also we'll have available in the highlight DVD full.
Swing and a miss. She struck her out for out number 2.
We'll have full highlights of the post-tournament celebrations and stuff on that highlight video. So that'll be available to view once the tournament's over, and that'll be a great time for whoever ends up winning this game at the end of it. It's all said and done.
Imhoff recording her 7th strikeout, and now the season boils down to 1 batter for California Baptist, Nicole Shoemaker. At the plate with 2 outs. She is 1 for 2, trying to keep the season alive. The pitch up and away for ball 1. A run, 4 hits and an error for Oregon Tech. No runs, 4 hits and an error for California Baptist. Imhoff ready again. Rocks back, now deals plateward. And a foul ball up and out of play for strike one. 1 ball and 1 strike. Oregon Tech, if they can hang on the win, certainly the Cinderella, I think, of this tournament. Ranked in the top 20, but number 18. And certainly surprising a few folks here, and they have played well. And they will have certainly earned a national championship if they can defeat California Baptist 2 out of 3 games, the number 1 ranked team in the country. 2 balls and a strike on Shoemaker now, and the pitch. Fouled away and out of play, and now it's even up at 2-2. So now Oregon Tech a strike away.
And late in this tournament, what's gotten them to this position is pitching and defense. Early on in the tournament, the pool play was a lot more of their offense, so it's a good combination they've shown.
And you're going to see, and especially in the bracket portion of the tournament, good pitching. And that's a lot of times what carries you. High fly ball to left. This could do it. Circling in, making the catch is Bree Larson, and the Oregon Tech Owls are the 2011 NAIA Softball National Champions as they celebrate out on the field here in Gulf Shores, Alabama. And what a run they put together. Losing game 1 today 7-0 to force this, if necessary, game. And they pick up the victory 1-0 and end up in this tournament winning 2 out of 3 games against California Baptist, and both wins were 1-0 decisions. So congratulations to the Oregon Tech Owls as they pick up the national championship. California Baptist, a great season as well. They finished second. Belhaven finishes third, and California State University San Marcos rounds out the top 4 here in this year's 2011 National Championship Tournament. Certainly California Baptist, nothing to hang their heads about here as they made an outstanding run. But Oregon Tech, got to be happy for them as they have battled through, and Imhoff getting the win here in this national championship game. We're going to take a final timeout. We'll come back with the final numbers here in a moment. You're watching the 2011 NAIA Softball National Championship on the Turbo Sports Group Network alongside New Lion Broadcasting. Back here in Gulf Shores, Alabama, Oregon Tech is the 2011 NAIA Softball National Champion as they pick up the 1-0 victory. A run, 4 hits, and an error for Oregon Tech. No runs, 4 hits, and an error for California Baptist. The winner is Jackie Imhoff. She works a complete game, 7 innings, 4 hits, no runs. She did not walk anybody, struck out 7, and delivered 98 total pitches. Tori Ferreira takes the loss for California Baptist. 3 1/3 innings of work, 3 hits, a run. She walked 2, struck out 2, and she suffers the loss here this afternoon. The win improving Imhoff's record to 25-6 as she picks up the win in the national championship game. Offensively, for California Baptist, they were led by Maura Rodriguez, 2 for 3. Nicole Shoemaker, 1 for 3. And Brianna Corral, 1 for 3. Oregon Tech had 4 players with a hit apiece. Shauna Collins, Jess Plummer, Brittany Cherry, and Taylor Schmidt. But the RBI single by Jess Plummer back in the first inning was the difference in the ball game, as a 1-0 decision in favor of Oregon Tech as they win the national championship. Glad you could be with us this afternoon, and we hope you enjoyed our broadcast. And again, if you want to purchase a copy of this ball game or any of the knockout round games, you can do that and get the DVD via Turbo Sports Group's website at www.turbosportsgroup.com or the link on the NAIA softball page. So hope you take advantage of that. I'm Kirk McDonald. Again, today's final, Oregon Tech wins the national championship here in 2011. Final score, 1-0 over California Baptist. Have a great rest of the afternoon.